And this is some news coming in as far as Seattle is concerned. It's a very unfortunate one. A body camera has now captured a Seattle Police Department union leader seemingly joking with another after an Indian student, Jaahnavi, a 23-year-old Northeast University student, was killed way back in the month of January by a speeding car that was being driven by a cop. And we're going to play out that entire sequence of events, or what is the kind of conversation that we can hear as part of that body cam footage. A city watchdog agency is now investigating this case. The Seattle police officer says that his remarks were misunderstood. But when we play out that entire sequence of events, you will see how the cops in fact were joking, laughing and saying that if we just write a check, that should be enough. That's the cost of the life of these students. Let's play out that video.
That witness could be different because I don't think, well, there's some, initially he said she was in a crosswalk. There's a witness that says no, she wasn't, but that witness could be different because I don't think she was thrown 40 feet either. I think she went up on the hood, hit the windshield, then when he hit the brakes, flew off the car. But she is dead. No, it's a regular person. Yeah. Yeah, just write a check. Just, yeah, $11,000. She was 26 anyway. She had limited value.
Played out that entire sequence of events of what that body cam video in fact has managed to capture. And just look at the remarks that come in from the cop. He laughs, he jokes about the death of this Indian student and says that we can just cut out a check because that's all the value of this life was. And now the police officer in fact has gone on to say that the remarks were misunderstood. But for any viewer who is watching this broadcast, it is very clear of the kind of insensitive mindset that now stands exposed as far as these police officers are concerned. And think about the family of this student as well. Let's also now bring in our colleague Anshul, who in fact is joining us on the broadcast. Anshul, good morning. As I pointed out, despite the cop coming out and now saying the remarks were misunderstood, I find it very difficult to make sense of it, because for anybody who's watching it, they're laughing, they're joking, and by the end of it, they're saying, let's just write a check because that's the value of the life of this girl who's just lost her life.
Well, definitely. That is the feeling that the family of this girl is also getting. As you rightly mentioned, this is absolutely shocking and appalling, the manner in which after the entire incident had happened, the manner in which these cops were talking to each other in such a light-hearted manner as if nothing had happened, and the girl who had lost her life had no value whatsoever. And it is very, very evident from the recording that has come to the fore that the police official was in no mood of apologizing or even to the extent that he had no guilt of what he had done, because remember, his vehicle was moving at a high speed of approximately 119 kilometers per hour when this incident had happened. And right after he went ahead and knocked Jaahnavi down and killed Jaahnavi, he went ahead and informed his supervisor. And while he was informing his supervisor, he made such remarks that the value of this life of an immigrant is not so much, and the city should just write a check of approximately $11,000 to her, and that would be the end of matter. Since then, remember, this entire incident had happened in the month of January this year, and since then this entire investigation was ongoing in this entire matter, where private watchdogs were looking into the entire incident. And since they got their hands on the recordings that had happened on that very day, the fateful day of the accident, all these shocking details have come to the fore. Although the Seattle police is saying that they are looking into the matter and they will make sure that an example is made out of it. But yes, the manner in which and the kind of insensitivity that has come to the fore definitely raises a lot of questions on the safety of immigrants and the value, especially the value of life of people who leave their country to go to the United States to get better education and to get better jobs.
And before we talk to Anshul, as far as the ongoing investigation is concerned and the kind of reactions that are coming in from Jaahnavi's family and what are the demands at this point, I just want to walk our viewers once again through the entire sequence of events. As we pointed out, it was in the month of January when this very unfortunate incident happened. But now that body cam footage that has been released reveals the insensitive mindset as far as these cops are concerned. Look at what the cops say. There's a case of overspeeding, and instead of any sort of remorse or apology, he in fact says, let's just cut a check because this girl's life had limited value, quote unquote limited value. So that's the value that they attach to this girl's life. Let me continue the conversation with my colleague Anshul, who's also been tracking all these developments for us. And Anshul, as I said, we cannot even imagine the plight or the condition of the family members at this point. But are we hearing anything in terms of their demands?
So yes, nothing as such. The family has not demanded any sort of monetary compensation or whatever, because yes, the main reaction that came in from the family, especially from the mother that is living in India, she said that yes, the manner in which the entire incident has happened and the kind of insensitivity that has been shown, that is absolutely shocking and appalling, and hence a strict action should be taken against the police official Dave, who was involved in that accident, and even the manner in which he responded after the accident. Remember, these are the people who are the first responders, especially in the United States. Even on that day, Dave was a person who was going on. In fact, the police official was going on a call of a drug overdose. He had another drug expert with him in that vehicle, and he was speeding at a speed of approximately 117 to 119 kilometers per hour during the time while Jaahnavi was crossing the road. He went ahead and walked her down, and even after that there was no remorse that can be seen, there was no remorse that can be heard or felt. What the family wants, in fact, her body was sent just a few days after to India by her uncle who was living in the same
Anshul,
country.
I just apologize for interrupting. I'll just continue the conversation with you in just a bit, but we want to take in some reactions as well. We have activist Brinda Adige also now joining us on the broadcast. Ma'am, good morning. Good to have you with us here on CNN News 18. As I was discussing with my colleague, I really don't know where to even begin. Just look at the kind of casual attitude the cops have after they've killed a young girl. They say, let's just write a check because the girl's life had limited value. And then to come out and say that my remarks were misunderstood. I find it extremely difficult to understand what really has been misunderstood here.
We have not misunderstood. We have understood exactly what the impunity and atrocious statement that fellow has made, that police officer. And if he has a body cam on and he speaks like this, it also goes to show that he is least bothered making such derogatory statements. And I want you to please change the stuff that's coming on your screen. Indian student killed, not died, killed by a police officer in the US. And everybody in US must hang their heads in shame, especially the government, especially their prime minister or their president and their home minister, if there is one. They must hang their heads in shame because they refuse to accept that Indian students are there not only increasing their revenues and who knows paying also the salaries of this stupid murderer, this atrocious fellow who made a statement of a value of some $10,000 or $11,000. What is his value? What is his worth? How dare he make this kind of a statement? And he thinks he will get away? If he's going to get away, I am going to be so upset. I'm outraged. I want my Prime Minister, my External Affairs Minister to ensure that this officer is pulled up, arrested today, put in jail, no bail, and give him capital punishment.
Brinda Adige, I just want to focus on what you said. When we see a remark like this, when a case so unfortunate has happened and you have these cops laughing, they're joking, and then they're saying, okay, we'll just write a check and that'll be the end of it. Do you think it's also an inherent understanding that there will be no action that will be taken against these cops so they can continue doing whatever they want and these cases will continue to be repeated?
Absolutely. Otherwise, I'm sure this is not the first time he's joked about a death of a Indian person or for that matter, even a African person. I'm sure that this is something that they have done time and again and they have got away with it. That is the impunity. They have got away. This particular clip has come out. I don't know who has shared it, how it has come out, but thanks for airing it on your channel. Now, this is where we want justice. Racial discrimination is steeped in the bloodstreams of these officials.